It was the small things that became a bother. Whether you are closing the toilet seat, where you squeeze the toothpaste from, how you cook, how quickly you cook the meals. Small things that became a bother.
And we are dealing with what are those small things? Are they just daily irritations or are they deal breakers? So we want to break that down today and share a bit of our story. So yeah, we may say some things about each other today that would still irritate each other. Okay, so bear with us. But yeah, this is our truth and this is our story. Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Talk Marriage and Family with myself, Phoebe, and Stephen. Let's get into it, Stephen.
So before marriage and when you go through marriage counseling, they often deal with things that I consider major, like finances, children. They focus on things like infidelity, and they focus on, are you faithful to your partner? And those things are considered as majors. But are they really the only focal point?
Yeah, because nobody teaches you how to deal with the other daily habits that you can encounter when you're married to somebody, like how they drive or, the whatever habits that they may have, right? So we want to talk a little bit about that today and take you on a journey. When we started marriage, what were some of the little things in marriage that started to creep in, that we didn't verbalize or vocalize as these things actually annoy me? Do you want to go first?
I can, because mine is quite short. And I think for the most part, I kind of lived in my own world. I would encounter those times when you were upset about something and I never knew what it was because of the fact that it was a habit. It was part of what I would do.
But you haven't started answering what I did.
Yeah, no. You asked a lot of questions. She still does. I can tell you an example. If I would come and say one of our friends had a baby, the only thing that matters to me is the fact that the baby's fine, the mother's fine, father's excited. That's all that matters. Then the questions. Who does the child look like?
No, I don't ask that.
Yeah, you asked it at some point. How much did the child weigh? Who cares? The fact was it cesarean or natural birth? I don't know if we got there, but it felt at the point that that's where we are heading. I would have had to be present when this child was delivered so that I could answer all these questions. Annoyed me to the nth degree.
Well, that's just the reality of the situation. We want to know details, and I'm a detailed person, so.
Men in general is about point A and point B,
Yeah.
black and white, and they're not connected. It's either light or it's dark. It's not a glass half full situation.
Yeah. So it's strange that was an annoyance, but I picked it up. I did pick up that, when I asked him any questions, it would really, really annoy him. So one thing that would have annoyed me is in my asking questions and sometimes having a conversation. So we talk about pillow talk, right? And that's supposed to be the most intimate time when you're having pillow talk with your spouse before going to bed or after a long day. I could never have pillow talk with Steven. He would fall asleep on me. Like,
I still do.
I don't understand this. I mean, I'm trying to share some deep things with you. I've had a long day or whatever. And yes, he listens and then falls asleep.
I do try. just this afternoon I tried. She just didn't know because she was focused on the laptop. But while she was talking, I was dozing off. And then I wake up, I'm like, stay awake before you get shouted. Now we laugh about it, but in the past, it was an unnecessary grievance. Now that we talk about it, because those were the things that was causing tension. So let's talk about driving and how she is the only best driver in the world. Right? She only trusts herself, nobody else.
I'm crying, of laughter.
En die appel val nie ver van die boom af nie.
What do you mean?
Because your mother's exactly the same. My father-in-law has been driving for years and years, but his wife still tells him, "Pas op, Daddy."
Yeah.
And so, when I go around a bend, I can see her closing her eyes or trying to put the focus on something else because I'm going too fast.
Yeah.
I don't drive fast. No, literally, I don't drive fast. Right? But somebody here believes that she does not drive fast.
No, I do feel that I've calmed down. And I calmed down many years ago when we had children. So I'm not as fast as I used to be.
But look, we've got witnesses. Because our children will tell you, my car has a limit set, a speed limit set. And once you go over 130, there's a siren that goes off. So they'll tell you, Mommy, you drive fast. Because that thing keeps going off. It never goes off when Daddy's driving. Or they would say, I have to be there early, or we are running late. You can't drive because you're too slow. I get contempt, Shem.
But it is what it is, right? I didn't know that's an annoyance for you, though.
What?
That of my driving.
No, the fact that you don't trust me.
Oh.
Or she can sit and drive with her phone in her hand, but I can't.
No. Now you're going too far.
We're talking about annoyances here. I just let it go.
Yeah. I've let a lot of things go as well, right? We were talking about the early days. And the early days, the things that used to annoy me the most was the things that you hear about commonly is when the men don't put down the toilet seat. I don't know why that used to annoy me, but it annoyed me. It annoyed me terribly, so that every time I went to the bathroom and that toilet seat was up, I was upset. The second thing that was an annoyance, Stephen mentioned it earlier, is where you press the toothpaste. Why is it so difficult to just press it from the bottom up? No, we start right here in the middle. I don't know, but it used to annoy me to to the nth degree. I just couldn't handle that. I couldn't stand it. But I didn't say anything about it. We were joking about it earlier. I would ask the question, why do you squeeze the toothpaste in the middle? And to him, that's just asking a question. It's not sharing a grievance. So, yeah, those were the kind of things that
You can tell us, is that an instruction? Does it sound like an instruction? Why don't you do this? Because I do that.
So, yeah, those are the kind of things I think we picked up on early.
But it's important that we do mention, though, we spoke about unspoken expectations. These are some of them that was never spoken about, right? But it was causing so much tension in our early days of marriage. Tension to the point where there's a grievance, there's tension in the house, but you don't really what causes it. And you might find that we are majoring on minors when we have these grievances, because for us now, looking back, we realize that those things were so small and so insignificant. Yes, they're not covered in marriage, in premarital counseling. They're not covered and nobody talks about it because everyone probably have learned to deal with it, and now they assume that we will know, and it might become deal breakers.
It could. For some people, certain things are just complete deal breakers. For some women, if your husband smokes in the house, it's a deal breaker. I'm just saying, I don't know, there could be different things that people find. If you do this, it's game over. But we have to identify, I think, what are those deal breakers for us, and we need to then talk about them and address them with each other.
Yep.
Or else we'll always be weighing up, is this just this person's habit, or is this person really trying to disrespect me by continuously doing certain things? So with those unspoken expectations or unspoken rules that we have for ourselves, if we don't discuss it with the next person, it's always going to be a source of tension.
Yeah, like I would be comfortable not to wash my cup when I've just had coffee. But it's your expectation that it's common sense that you would go wash your cup.
There's only one cup there, so just wash it up. Why do we have to wait and accumulate a whole sink full of dishes? When you come to a clean sink, just rinse your cup of coffee or wash it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are the kind of things that we think are majors when they actually are minors.
Yep. So is it really about the toilet seat? Or is it really about how you squeeze the toothpaste? Or is it about consideration, showing me respect, feeling valued? And this is when we've actually articulated what annoys us. If we haven't, it's unspoken, and so you'll be annoyed. And that should be the takeaway. You'll be annoyed for as long as possible because you just don't take the time out to say, you know what, and do it in the right spirit, right? This that you're doing, I don't like it. Because when we're going to address it in the wrong spirit, we might just end up in an unnecessary argument. And it's not really about a toilet seat, and it's not really about a toothpaste. It's about, let's consider the next person. Let's show respect. And the scripture says in Proverbs chapter 19, verses 11, that a person's wisdom yields patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense.
And overlooking an offense is not overlooking something serious.
Yes.
It's really about saying, am I prepared to spend a lot of energy on this thing? Is it worth the energy of creating a whole argument, spoiling the entire day over this thing? That's what overlooking is all about. We have to then, just weigh it up.
Yeah, because you could have planned a date night.
Yeah.
You're running a little bit late. I was caught up in traffic, so I got home and I just didn't put the toilet seat down. Now your entire romantic planned evening or weekend away is ruined just because you are now irritated. Again. Again. How many times?
Do I go again?
No, it's not calling my name.
Yeah. It's just important to really weigh it out. What's more valuable? Let's talk about that. What's more valuable?
What's more valuable versus who is more valuable? So are you more important to me than what I'm doing? Because when I value you, I will respect your time. I will respect what annoys you. I would make sure that and it's not because I want to watch my every step, it's because I value you. So if leaving the toilet seat up annoys you, then I would put it down. Oh, let's not talk about the toilet paper holder.
The toilet paper holder.
I just remembered it now.
And
you know what? Sometimes when you can't beat them, you join them.
Yes, I've joined the party of when the toilet what toilet roll holder is empty, you replace it, but you leave the empty one right there. Bad
And
habit.
this time I wasn't
Bad
alone.
habit. Bad habit. But yes, that's what used to happen, and that's what used to irritate me. And then I realized, but this is such a minor thing. It's not a major thing. It's such a minor thing. So I'm sure if I do it too, it's not going to cause any issues. But now, reverse psychology, I am being told, oh, so we also don't throw away the toilet roll thing now. Make it make sense.
I mean, you see TikTok videos where the mothers are trying to train their families. I mean, you're taking time out to train your families. Just go with it, man. But let's be considerate with one another, and that's, I think, what's very important, especially when you start out your journey. This person that's next to me is more important than my ego, more important than my pride, more important than what I'm used to doing, because we need to adapt once we step into marriage.
So the question about this is who I am. You married me like this. You knew I'm like this.
Yeah.
This is the habits that I've grown up with since I was a child. You are expecting me to change. How do we address that question?
Well, for me, it's my analogy of accountability. You mix coffee in water. The water is not fighting to stay in its natural and original form. It adapts, it adjusts, and that's a process, right? Those coffee granules you don't see no more because it's now integrated. And that's the journey of marriage. It's a journey of integration, and we become one. When we remain individuals and we focus on our individuality, then we'll make those statements. Now I need to change myself. You found me like this. This is how I dress. You never told me while we were dating that you don't like my pants to hang on my bum. Why must I pull it up now? We become selfless when we get married.
That's interesting. We become selfless. It doesn't mean that you deny who you are. It just means that you consider this person as well.
Yes.
You've become one. So this new unit looks different. This new unit behaves differently.
Yes.
So that integration into selflessness is quite important.
And that's exactly what this verse says. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Be considerate. Make allowance for each other's faults. The Bible says in Colossians.
And we must remember that marriage is not about winning every argument. It's really about preserving the marriage connection that we have.
Yeah. Because some things needs discussion. Other things needs grace. And we need the wisdom to tell the difference.
Yeah. So what do we want to highlight as actual majors? So we've spoken about some of the minor things, and we can laugh about some of these minor things because I think as we've matured in marriage, some of the minors we've really absolutely just disregarded. We don't even, if I can see the toilet seat up, I'm not even going to mention it. It's just one of those things now. It's not something that we're going to fight about or. But what are the major things that we need to look out for in our marriage, in any marriage, that must not be ignored?
Well, I can definitely highlight a major in our journey, and that is being inconsiderate in allowing you to raise the children by themselves. That is a major.
By themselves?
By yourself.
Okay.
While I am busy, right? I consider that today a major because that could have destroyed this union.
Mm-hmm.
That could have gotten you to a place of saying, I can't do this.
Yeah.
If we want to be real.
And I can't say that I didn't feel that way. I can't say that there weren't moments that I felt like this is not worth it. This is not healthy, and feeling quite alone made me feel very vulnerable. You know, alone in rearing the children, alone in just feeling alone in the marriage.
Yeah.
So what do we call that? What would that be labeled as?
Neglect.
Neglect.
Prioritize or priority. Your priorities are warped. And it doesn't have to be ministry, it doesn't have to be church. It could be your business, it could be your education, it could be whatever you deem more important in your marriage and this relationship. See, we don't preserve this union often enough, and this union represents covenant. And we tend to overlook it. We tend to think that it's not as important because I married you, you should be happy. Now I can carry on living my life, but I'm neglecting the commitment that I made. That is detrimental. Sometimes some women stay because they've got nowhere else to go. And that is emotional abuse.
Yeah. So abuse in all forms cannot be ignored. I think the red flags of abuse will always rear its head. And if it's emotional abuse, if it's physical abuse, if it's intimidation even, if that is something that is occurring in your marriage, maybe it's time to seek help.
Yeah. Because charity begins at home. We live lives on the outside and we take care of things and people and we're wonderful to everybody else. But the sacred place that we're supposed to be focusing on, which is our family, that we neglect. And that's where charity begins. We have to care. Ensure that we care first at home.
Yeah. One of the other majors, I think, is addiction. We hear a lot of women, my experience, where you'd hear of women that says that my husband is addicted to pornography or he's addicted to substances or other things, right? We don't know all of the stories. I think if we look at our marriage, I can definitely say I've become addicted to social media. And that can be a problem in itself, because you're constantly consumed by what's happening in this virtual world where you're actually alone, and then you neglect comes in strong. You neglect this union, this time together because of an addiction that you have.
And sometimes your friends and prioritizing them over your wife. I mean, you married me with my friends. You knew that we playing whatever sport or we're doing this. This is what we do. We've been doing it. But when you get married, life and priorities should change. And those are key things, key decisions that needs to be made. It has to be consciously made. We often overlook it because I've signed on a dotted line and now my life just continues.
Are there any other majors you can think of that we need to focus on?
Neglect results in infidelity because everyone seeks to be accepted. Seek a place of acceptance, a place that they can call home, right? So if my husband or my wife doesn't have time for me, doesn't take time out to be with me, and everything else is more important, then as a result, when someone else shows interest or someone else takes out the time to compliment me on my outfit, that's how it slowly creeps in. Infidelity, unfaithfulness, because now I've got someone that's validating me, right? My husband is not validating me. My wife is not validating me. This man at work is taking the time out to notice You did your nails. But he didn't even see. He didn't even see that I cut my hair and I colored it and I've got a new hairstyle. He didn't even notice because he's so caught up in his own world. And slowly but surely, that dissatisfaction results in finding refuge and home and acceptance in another man's arms, in another woman's arms. And we think it's just because of lust. It's not.
It's just wanting to be seen.
It's wanting to be seen, it's wanting to be accepted
And loved.
and loved for who I am. Because when I am loved, when I am accepted, it doesn't matter what another woman does, what another man does. I'm taken care of at home. I don't need to go sleep around because I'm fed at home. And that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, I think another major is definitely when we don't align in our values and principles. If, as a very big example, if I'm a business person and I don't mind having, corrupt dealings on the side, and that completely goes against what you value, the principles that you have, how do we walk together unless we agree? Amos 3:3 comes into play there again. So what are those deep values that you hold? This is a major thing for me, because if we can't align on those things, then the marriage really is in jeopardy.
Yeah. And you say, I'm not willing to compromise on this.
Yeah. And if we don't know about these kind of behaviors before you enter marriage, once it's exposed in the marriage, how then do you navigate this? How do you navigate deep misalignment? It's a challenge. And for all of these major issues, especially when it comes to commitment, when it comes to betrayal, infidelity, or abuse, help is needed, intervention is needed, and you need to do this either independently or as a couple, but do not ignore those major issues and concerns.
So ask yourself today, is what I'm doing hurting our connection? Is it ruining this relationship? Will it matter in the next 5 years? Or is it just a minor?
Yeah, I think we need to really be deliberate in asking ourselves these really deep questions, because based on the answers to those questions, you know how to move forward. It's all about moving forward with grace, right? If it's a habit, release the habit. Choose this week, what is that one thing that works on my last nerve, but I can release it because it's a minor.
And release it, not ignore it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's not important.
Yeah.
Releasing means the person is more important than what they're doing.
Yeah. It's more about the relationship, not the habit.
And for the person, the offender, habits can change.
Yes.
And if I know that this habit is an annoyance, I can change it.
And don't be too proud to change it.
Yeah.
Don't be too proud to say, oh well, if I learned how to do this, I can unlearn it too. So this week, if you are struggling with these kind of conversations, we want to remind you that we have a 7-day prayer guide that you can download into your mailbox and use it as a conversation starter. Okay? It's a conversation starter about things that we can speak about, the things that annoy us. And once we've identified it in a calm space, in a non-confrontational way, we can pray about it. And we can release each other with these small things and really focus on the deep things that will bring us closer.
Yeah. That is true. So let's fight for marriage. Let's fight for family. Because our world is in the state that it is because we forgot to fight for this union that is important, that was instituted before everything else. Let's be intentional to say, it doesn't matter if I'm married for 50 years, I can change. I might just be starting in my marriage, I'm a year in, I can still change. There's always hope. I don't need to give up because we have a choice to make.
Yeah.
So let's fight for marriage.
And so don't major on the minors, protect what matters. And remember that marriage is learnt, not mastered.